OpenAI and Google are teaming up. Is Meta skipping AGI and going straight into superintelligence? Well, they have a $14 billion bet that they're going to do that. And is Microsoft going to kill off tutorials as we know them with their new and improved AI vision capabilities? A lot of questions floating around this week, at least when it comes to AI news updates. And don't worry, if you're spending hours a week trying to figure out what the heck is going on in AI and you can't keep up, that's what we're here for. Welcome to Everyday AI. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jordan Wilson, and I'm the host of this thing. It's your daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter, helping everyday business leaders such as yourself not just keep up with AI, but how we can use all this information to get ahead, to grow our companies and our careers. If that's what you're trying to do, you're in the right place. Welcome. This is unedited, unscripted. We do this every single weekday. So it starts here with learning, but how you can actually leverage this to become the smartest person in AI at your company or your department is by going to our website at youreverydayai.com. So there, not only can you and should you sign up for our free daily newsletter where we recap each day's episode. So if you miss a couple of things today, don't worry, it's going to be in our free daily newsletter, but also on our website. There's more than 440 540. I can't even keep track. More than 540 back episodes of Everyday AI. You can go watch them all for free, listen to them all for free, read about them all for free on our website. It is like a free generative AI university taught by the world's leading experts. All right, so I'm excited to jump into today's show and talk about the AI news that matters. Good morning, live stream audience. Yeah, podcast people. You can always check out the show notes for a link, but we do this, it's a live stream. So thanks for joining us. Douglas joining us from Atlanta. Muhammad saying good morning to you. Jose joining us from Santiago. The Chile crew is in the house. Kyle joining us from the YouTube machine. Joe and St. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Big Bogey joining us on the YouTube. So thanks for joining, guys. Let me know if you have any questions as you go along, if you have any hot takes. I know it's a news day. We'll have our hot take Tuesday tomorrow, but love hearing from our live stream crew. Great to be back, Rolando, as well. All right. Good morning, Cecilia, joining from Chicago, like myself. All right, let's get into the AI news that matters this week. As I sip on my coffee, let's get after it. So OpenAI has launched a major update to its ChatGPT projects feature, making it a more powerful tool for ongoing research, writing, and planning. So the new update to projects introduces new tools that let users organize related chats, files, and instructions into a focused workspace, moving beyond single session conversations. So the big thing now is users can now conduct multi-step deep research from within a project. So it'll only pull information from that project and it will blend instructions, chat history within those projects, file, and web research for deeper and more contextual work. This one's a big one, y'all. I can't underestimate enough how big this update is. And not only that, but voice mode has finally been added to projects. So now you can have that hands-free brainstorming and document review just by tapping on the microphone icon in any chat inside a project. So Plus and Pro subscribers, so this is a paid ChatGPT member benefit that's rolling out, can have the enhanced memory and ChatGPT can reference past chats within a project to maintain continuity and context. So yeah, if you want your project files to be able to automatically understand the context from other chats underneath that project, that is a paid only feature right now. The mobile app supports file uploads and model switching now, which is great, bringing some of the functionality we've had on the web for a while. Also, individual chats within a project can be shared via unique links so collaborators can see just the intended conversation and not the entire project. So OpenAI says all users can create projects now, but these premium features like memory across chats are reserved for the paid tiers. So pretty big update here. I think a lot of people have had the misconception that projects, both within ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude, are more just for organizing your chats, right? Oh, they're a folder structure, like a folder on your operating system for your computer. And yeah, they kind of are, but there's so much more than that, especially after this new update from OpenAI. I think probably the two biggest ones just within this project update is number one, being able to interact with your voice now, which is really big. But the biggest one would probably be the deep research just within the project, which is huge, right? So now you can dump a ton of your company's information, files, documents, and now it searches across past chats as well for paid users. So pretty big one here. And I'm curious if any of our live stream audience is going to be or has already experimented with it. I have, definitely. Renee says, thank goodness I need this for a project. I think this is, if I'm being honest, just a pretty simple, I won't say simple. I think this is a fairly straightforward functionality that probably should have been there from the beginning, but I'm sure there's some technical issues to it. And I would assume that all the other big players are going to have to roll out this functionality because, like I said, this just greatly improves the way that these folders can work. So not only that, also a big update that OpenAI didn't even really release, but it's out. And maybe you could argue it's even bigger. GPTs, yes. OpenAI's custom version of their model called GPTs can now use any model. All right, so what that means is you've been able to create for a long time, I think almost now 2 years, a version of ChatGPT called GPTs, right? So it's a smaller version. You can put your own custom instructions and files in there. But the biggest difference between GPTs and folders is you can mention or call a GPT no matter where you are, as long as you're using a GPT model. It doesn't work with the O models. But the biggest difference is you can be in any chat and you can reference essentially an unlimited number of GPTs one by one. The downside is they've been on this older model, GPT-4o, which is still a very capable model. But now you can use the O series models when using GPTs, which turns them from, okay, this is a pretty nice feature, into, okay, we have to redesign how we work at our company. I kid you not. It is that big, the ability to use these O models, these thinking models, the ones that can reason and plan ahead and take time to think about a very complex query with a lot of data and a lot of instructions. So two pretty big updates there from OpenAI. Speaking of which, make sure to join us Wednesday. We're doing the new series. I don't know. Do you guys like it or not? Putting AI to work on Wednesdays. So we have our news Mondays, our hot take Tuesdays, and we're going to put AI to work on Wednesdays. So this Wednesday, we're going to talk about this from OpenAI, as well as comparing some of these new updates across Google's GEMs, ChatGPT's GPTs, and the projects from OpenAI and Claude. So we're going to be doing custom GPTs, GEMs, and projects, what they are and why you need to use them. All right, so make sure to join us on Wednesday for that show. All right, our next piece of AI news, Meta's new AI assistant app, which launched in April, has already passed 1 billion users, according to Meta's own announcement. And despite Meta's claim that nothing is shared to your feed unless you choose to post it, the app's interface makes it easy for users to accidentally share private queries publicly via a Discover feed. And this thing has been going viral. Essentially got a bunch of people that don't understand that if you share something in a certain way, it becomes public. So essentially you have thousands and maybe more of users who are thinking they're chatting with Meta's AI assistant, but they are actually posting these things publicly. So a review of the Discover feed by Futurism, in this case, which is the news article we are showing here for our live stream audience, reveals that highly personal and sensitive questions, including medical issues, sexual health concerns, and legal troubles, are visible to the public, often under users' real names if they logged in with Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. Not good. The app also uploads and shares lengthy voice queries without clear warning, with some recordings lasting over an hour and containing personal and controversial discussions. So examples found in the public feed include users asking about bowel movements, recurring STIs, tax problems, and even advice for criminal sentencing letters, all with identifying information attached. Also, teachers, students, and professionals are unwittingly sharing work-related queries, such as test questions and advice for handling relationships, making the app a potential privacy minefield. So, yeah, you technically have to consent to posting this publicly, but it's not 100% clear, especially if you're not a super technical user. So yeah, the new Meta AI app is actually turning into, I guess, must see or must read social media. But unfortunately, due to people not fully understanding and thinking their queries with this AI chatbot are private and they're public, this is not going to turn out well for Meta. It's going to become a PR disaster because this just started. Kind of some of these details just kind of started leaking out. Some sleuths online are like, wait, is anyone else seeing this? And then everyone else is like, yes, we are. Some of the media started to pick up on it this weekend. I would expect the mainstream media to pick up on this over the next week or two, and it's going to turn into a huge story and a disaster for Meta. All right. Speaking of Meta, they're making a $14 billion investment into not just Scale AI, but superintelligence. So Meta has finalized a $14+ billion investment into Scale AI, valuing the data labeling and model evaluation startup at $29 billion, according to reports from the New York Times. So this marks Meta's second largest investment ever after its $19 billion WhatsApp acquisition. So as part of the deal, Scale AI. So again, if you don't know Scale AI, there's a good chance you don't unless you are a geek and like me and follow the AI scene, but they are probably the biggest data labeling company that so many of the AI labs use to help them clean up and improve their data. And they also do model evaluation. So as part of the deal, Scale AI founder and CEO Alexander Wang will join Meta to lead its new superintelligence team, a team focused on developing AI with capabilities far beyond current systems. So if you're wondering, like, super intelligence, like what the heck is that? Well, essentially you have artificial intelligence, which is the stage that we're at now, right? You have artificial general intelligence, or AGI, which is essentially when the AI systems that we all use are as good at everyday tasks that humans are. And I would argue that we've kind of been there unofficially for the last year or so. Depends on what your definition of AGI is, but ASI, or artificial superintelligence, is what happens when the machines are far more intelligent than humans. So it kind of goes AI, AGI, ASI. So Meta here is placing a huge bet into creating this $14 billion kind of acquisition of Scale AI, or acqui-hire, you could say, as a lot of Scale AI leaders are now going to be joining this new Meta superintelligence team. So several Scale AI employees will move with Wang to Meta, where they will work directly on advanced AI projects. So Meta will own a 49% stake in Scale AI's continued operations, but will reportedly have limited control over its operations, a structure designed to avoid regulatory scrutiny that has affected similar deals involving Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and just about everyone else. So the New York Times reports that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has been personally recruiting top AI talent, even inviting candidates to his home and offering compensation packages worth up to 9 figures. Yeah, I'll do the math for you. That's compensation packages valued at hundreds of millions of dollars. So all you know, people that maybe got your computer science and AI degrees like 20 years ago, and people are like, oh, what's this all about? Are you sure there's a job in this? Yeah, now you guys are making salaries that make MBA salaries look minuscule. All right. So Wang described his move as a significant opportunity, though it comes at the cost of leaving his CEO role at Scale AI. But Jason Droge, the startup's chief strategy officer, will take over as CEO. Wang will remain on Scale AI's board of directors, ensuring ongoing development with the company. So this is going to be pretty interesting how this shakes out, because this isn't just Meta making a huge investment into technically AGI, ASI, and beyond. It's actually probably going to impact all of the other AI systems that we use. As an example, recent reports are showing that Google will reportedly cut ties with Scale AI, and then we'll have to see what OpenAI, Google, and NVIDIA and others are going to do with their partnership, right? Because just about every single big AI company and every single big tech company has partnered with Scale AI. So now that Scale AI has essentially been acqui-hired by Meta, you've already seen Google reportedly is going to be cutting their ties with Scale AI. So we'll see what OpenAI, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and others do in terms of their partnership. Because even though Meta is saying like, yeah, we're going to kind of keep these things separate, I don't know if Wang is on the board of directors of Scale AI, but is leading the superintelligence teams. I don't know. I would assume that some of the other big companies will follow Google's lead in cutting ties with Scale AI. And I would assume that Scale AI's closest competitors are going to be gobbling up new business opportunities, because, yeah, you're going to have trillion-dollar companies being like, yo, we need another partner in this space like yesterday. Who can get us up to speed? So pretty big movements there from the big players. Speaking of movements from the big players, yeah, OpenAI and Google are partnering together. What? These are the two biggest companies going head to head, punch for punch. I'd say since December of last year, it's been a battle. Who is the AI king? But now they are shaking hands, at least when it comes to cloud compute. So OpenAI has finalized a deal to use Google Cloud to expand its computing capacity, according to reports, marking a significant shift in artificial intelligence industry's competitive landscape. So yeah, this is according to a Reuters report. So this move allows OpenAI to reduce its reliance on Microsoft Azure, which has been its exclusive infrastructure partner until earlier this year. So yeah, it looks like OpenAI is open to working with other tech giants, even though Microsoft has a reported 49% stake in OpenAI after reportedly investing up to $13 billion. So also announced as part of this, OpenAI's annualized revenue run rate has surged to $10 billion as of June, highlighting the rapid adoption and growing demands of the technology. So this new partnership between OpenAI and Google is seen as a big win for Google Cloud, as it will supply additional computing power to OpenAI for training and running AI models, despite OpenAI's ChatGPT posing a direct threat to Google's search business. Right? So yeah, this on certain aspects, this makes a lot of sense, and on certain aspects, it doesn't, right? Because yes, this is going to be bringing in a ton of revenue to Google Cloud, but also they're a direct threat to not just Google's search business. OpenAI is a direct threat, not just to Google's search business, but to their Google Gemini product. So interesting that we're seeing this kind of partnership unfold. So this deal comes as Google expands access to its in-house TPU or tensor processing units to external customers, including other high-profile tech companies and AI startups. So OpenAI's recent partnerships, including the $500 billion Stargate infrastructure project with SoftBank and Oracle, and multi-billion-dollar deals with CoreWeave, show its ongoing efforts to diversify its computing resources. Both OpenAI and Google declined to comment on the deal, but Alphabet's stock rose 2% after the news, while Microsoft shares dipped by about 0.6%. Analysts at Scotiabank called the development somewhat surprising and noted it's demonstrated how fierce competitors are willing to collaborate to meet massive infrastructure needs. So yeah, pretty shocking I'll say when I saw that headline earlier in the week, and I was like, huh, interesting, right? I guess it does show that uh, number one, money talks, and compute is like the biggest resource right now. Right. So obviously OpenAI making waves on the revenue side. Google with their TPUs, a lot of their announcements that they just announced at their Google Cloud Next, and just their TPUs, and just the how they're handling and expanding and scaling cloud compute. Pretty impressive. So I guess it makes sense. But hey, competition is at least going to take a break in this regard. All right, let's take a quick break for me to sip my coffee and hear from our partners.
This podcast is supported by Google. Hey everyone, David here, one of the product leads for Google Gemini. Check out VO3, our state-of-the-art AI video generation model, in the Gemini app, which lets you create high-quality, 8-second videos with native audio generation. Try it with the Google AI Pro plan or get the highest access with the Ultra plan. Sign up at gemini.google to get started and show us what you create.
All right, I like this this comment here from Joe saying cloud infrastructure diversity is good for OpenAI, and I suspect it is a trend to snap up more computing resources, compute resources. Yeah, great observation there, Joe. All right, our next piece of AI news. While all the other companies are making big AI splashes at their yearly conferences, Apple obviously came out of their WWDC, their Worldwide Developer Conference, last week with a huge AI yawn. But one thing that does look pretty cool and pretty promising, at least, is Apple has unveiled their forthcoming live AI translation across devices. So at WWDC, Apple introduced the live AI-powered translation as a central feature across its platforms, powered by the new Apple Intelligence Engine. So translation will be integrated on supporting devices across messages, FaceTime, and phone, enabling real-time text and speech translation in up to 17 languages, though support varies by app and mode. So live text translation in messages displays the translation instantly as users type, while FaceTime offers speech-to-text translation with live captions during video calls. On phone calls, users can access both speech-to-speech and speech-to-text translation, with a synthetic voice reading the translated text aloud in a different language as it appears on screen. At launch, 8 languages are supported in messages and 5 in phone and FaceTime, with Apple promising to expand to 8 more languages by year's end. Reports, though, are showing that the new and smarter Siri that we've all been hoping for and waiting for is going to be delayed until 2026. While Apple, I guess, continues to struggle with it and handle all the class action lawsuits from promoting all these smart AI features last year and rolling out pretty much none of them, unless you're excited by using AI to create emojis. And then, this year, the big update there is you can use AI to combine 2 different emojis, right? Gosh. I still don't understand how Apple has fumbled the AI bag so hard, but I can't wait until someone makes a movie about this, and how this is probably going to be one of the reasons why Apple has released its stranglehold on being the biggest company in the world. I personally don't see Apple ever reclaiming that #1 spot, and I would be surprised if in 3 years they're even a top 5 company in the world anymore by market cap. So I would say that its inability to capitalize on AI has led to its tremendous downfall, which I detailed last week. You know, if you want the hot take, I think last week's was a good one. I know it was about a research paper, but go listen to episode 543. The title of that one is Apple's Weaponized Research Inside Its Illusion of Thinking paper. Yeah, essentially Apple researchers came out with this quote unquote research paper, which was actually just marketing because it came out like 2 days before their WWDC conference, where they essentially took a gap year on AI. right? So they came out with this paper that essentially questioned, like, oh, like these large language models that reason, they don't actually reason. I ripped it apart. It was a terrible, terrible study. And actually, there's been follow-up studies by other companies saying that this is a terrible study, including one which I liked called the illusion of thinking. So that one was pretty fun. But one or two other small AI announcements from Apple from their WWDC conference. They did say they're opening up their core Apple Intelligence AI models to third-party app developers, allowing any app to tap directly into the on-device language model. So yeah, if you have a newer Apple iPhone or a newer Mac or MacBook, you will have access to their kind of edge AI or on-device large language models. So now developers will be able to access those on-device AI models without really having to have the AI capacity themselves. So what this could mean is, in theory, we could actually get a smart Siri, but from a third-party company, which I would laugh and I would use it, obviously, because Siri is useless. It still can't even tell the time or tell me directions or tell me what the temperature is because it doesn't understand anything and there's no ability to talk to it. So I would hope that some company out there, and I know Perplexity has already started to kind of carve out that niche. So please, someone out there, go build a smart Siri that, you know, 1 billion or 2 billion, however many Apple devices there are out there, can actually start using. Yeah, another good comment here. Apple translation jokingly reminds me of Monty Python's Hungarian phrasebook sketch. All right. Some Microsoft news, and maybe this could kill off tutorials. Maybe, at least in some instances, I think it actually might. Or just this movement of AI technology. But Microsoft has announced the release and technically update of CoPilot Vision on Windows with highlights, now available in the US for Windows 10 and 11 users, according to Microsoft's official announcement. So this update is notable because CoPilot Vision lets users share what's on their screens with the AI assistant, which can then provide real-time insights, guidance, and answers based on the content they're viewing. So this is if you've used Google AI Studio, like Stream Real Time, very much similar to that. You can essentially share any part of your screen with CoPilot Vision. It can see, it can talk to you in real time. You can ask questions, and it's contextually aware with what's on your screen. So CoPilot Vision can analyze content from up to 2 different apps at once, which that's big, helping users connect information and navigate tasks more efficiently across multiple windows. So the new highlights feature, which I think is pretty cool, allows users to ask CoPilot to show me how for specific tasks with step-by-step in-app guidance, making it easier to learn new workflows or troubleshoot issues. So that's essentially, it will highlight things on your screen. So as an example, let's say you're trying to learn something in, I don't know, Adobe Photoshop, and you're like, hey, how do I mask this layer? Right? You can just open up Microsoft's CoPilot, launch CoPilot Vision, share the screens that you need to, and talk to it. And it will go and literally walk you through step by step. It will highlight things on your screen. It'll say, you know, go into this menu, hover over this, click this, you know, this keyboard shortcut. So literally, I think there are so many, I guess online entities, YouTubers that really just exploded over the past decade doing just this, right? Probably even longer than a decade, just doing software tutorials. And I don't know, if I'm being honest, I think the whole tutorial landscape might kind of shrink. Because as long as players like Microsoft, Google, and whenever OpenAI actually announces this, even though they teased it more than a year ago, I think it was April or May of 2024 that they teased this, as long as these 3 companies specifically continue to invest in this space, I would assume this is how the majority of us business leaders are going to be interacting and learning new softwares, new processes, etc. Right? But that also requires that you really understand these models. What's their knowledge cutoff? How do they connect to the internet? How can they bring in your own personal context to help you with these tasks? The update also introduces deep research and file search capabilities within the CoPilot app, expanding its usefulness for both work and personal projects. Also, Microsoft plans to expand CoPilot Vision availability to more countries outside Europe in the near future, potentially broadening its impact and adoption. All right. Hey, Big Bogey said, go CoPilot. Yeah, I'm excited because here's like what I've seen happening. Microsoft has just quietly been updating its kind of AI products after OpenAI and Google. So there's actually a ton of capability that has quietly been rolling out across Microsoft Copilot's products that I don't think they're necessarily getting a lot of love for. And maybe that's because they're other companies are doing it first, right? So, as an example, Google with their Notebook LM, their audio overviews, these deep dive AI podcasts, right? Where you can dump in all your context, click a button, and these two AI hosts will create a personalized podcast just based off your content. Microsoft rolled out that feature as well, like a month ago, right? So Microsoft has quietly been updating its Copilot to bring in some of these other capabilities. So it's been interesting. Essentially, you have OpenAI and Google going toe to toe, and then Microsoft either weeks or months later, just kind of borrowing some of the best features and functionality that Google and OpenAI are rolling out. So it's been kind of fun. It's been kind of fun to watch. So Brian with a good question here. How is this different than what I can do with Google's AI Studio with screen share? Great question, Brian. So a couple of differences is this works as a desktop app versus when you're using Google's AI Studio with their stream real time with screen share. You're working in a browser base. The other difference is with CoPilot Vision, you can share multiple apps at once, whereas with Google's AI Studio, you can only share one screen at a time. Although I haven't tried sharing a single screen that has multiple apps running on it, but this new CoPilot Vision feature by default lets you share up to 2 apps at a time. So let's say, I don't know, you have 2 different programs open, maybe an audio editing program and a video editing program, and you're trying to, sync something up between the 2. So there's a lot of instances where you might want to be able to share 2 different apps and not just have one screen sharing. But yeah, we'll as this rolls out and as the technology matures, we'll probably want to do a head-to-head comparison at some point. But great question there, Brian. All right, our next piece of AI news. This is either great or terrible, depending on how you look at it. But Amazon has launched its AI-powered video generator tool for U.S. sellers inside Amazon after 9 months of beta testing. So yeah, we talked about this in late 2024 when it was first reported, but it looks like now this tool is being rolled out. So the free tool for Amazon sellers allows authenticated Amazon seller accounts to create 8-second what they call, quote unquote, low motion video ads from existing product images, making video advertising more accessible for small businesses and online Amazon sellers. So Amazon has also updated its AI image generator, which now better places products like wristwatches on photorealistic human models, advancing beyond simple white background product shots. So the new and updated video generator can summarize key clips from existing videos, but also generate new visual ads, helping sellers with limited marketing budgets or expertise. Half of the products promoted with AI-generated video assets are being advertised for the first time, suggesting these tools are enabling new advertisers to participate. Amazon reports that sponsored brand campaigns featuring video elements see an average of a 30% higher click-through rate, though the company has not disclosed whether this leads to higher sales overall. The growing use of AI-generated video in ads is rapidly expanding across Amazon's catalog of product images and videos, further improving its generative AI models. So while the tools can now produce short montage-style clips with human figures, appears they are still very limited in creating longer form narratives. And also the quality, not that good. Right. If you're thinking you're going to see quality similar to Google VO or Kling's or even, OpenAI's Sora, not so much. Don't expect any jaw dropping, videos to be dropping anytime soon, or if you're an Amazon seller. But what this does mean for consumers is you just have to be cognizant, right? Even when I'm buying something off Amazon, I generally don't look at the photos. I go straight to the videos, right? That's me. But keep in mind, there's obviously a such thing as video hallucinations. Luckily, it seems like Amazon is rolling this out slowly and is focusing on more what they're calling, which I kind of chuckled that they said low motion video ads. But keep in mind, video hallucinations are a thing. So before you, go base a decision on something, especially if it's expensive that you're buying on Amazon by watching an an AI generated video, make sure that that's actually factual, right? And make sure that whatever capabilities are being described or shown in that AI video are not actually just hallucinations. All right. 2 more pieces of AI news, and our 2 last ones are pretty big. All right, so this could be the first AI lawsuit that starts to really hit the AI companies, and that could stick. I'll say that. So Disney and Universal have filed a major lawsuit against AI image generator Midjourney, accusing it of generating endless unauthorized copies of their iconic characters. So the studios allege that Midjourney made $300 million last year, but by a big part of it was by allowing users to create images resembling their own copyrighted characters, such as Elsa, Shrek, and Iron Man, often with striking visual similarity. Not quite pixel for pixel, but pretty dang close. And this marks the first time a major Hollywood studio has taken direct action in the ongoing debate over AI and copyright, a move that could set a crucial legal precedent for the entertainment industry. I'm curious. I put out a poll on this on my LinkedIn, but live stream audience, you've seen this. You've seen Midjourney. You all follow the AI space. Who do you think is going to win this? Do you think that Hollywood is going to win this case, or do you think Midjourney is going to win it? Let me know in the comments, but a little more about the lawsuit. It is a 110-page complaint, and it includes dozens of side-by-side comparisons that show what appeared to be, again, I'm no legal expert, but I did say at a Holiday Inn Express once, it looks like side by side, it's like, yeah, that's a copy, right? But it shows dozens of side-by-side comparisons of Midjourney outputs and the original copyrighted images from Universal and Disney. And the studios argue that Midjourney could filter out copyrighted content if it wanted to, just as it currently filters out violence and nudity, but has refused to do so, they say, even after they sent them cease and desist letters. The lawsuit seeks damages or statutory penalties of up to $150,000 per infringed work, as well as an injunction to block Midjourney's image and their just released or slowly being rolled out anyway, new video services until copyright protection measures are in place. So I don't know if that $150,000 per infringed work would be retroactive, but if it would, I would assume that would be like trillions of dollars, right? There's been millions of Midjourney images produced, and I would assume the overwhelming, I won't say the overwhelming majority of them, but I will just say there's probably countless of millions of images that have been created against Disney or very similar to Disney and Universal's lawsuit. So that $150,000 per infringed work, I'm curious if that'll be retroactive or only if the ruling is in their favor, if it only applies from there forward. So that one is going to be interesting to watch. And Midjourney's founder has previously admitted essentially that the company did not seek permission from copyright holders, citing the impossibility of tracking the source of millions of images that it has scraped from the internet to train its models. The case highlights a broader industry conflict. While Hollywood studios are suing to protect their intellectual property, many, including Disney, are also exploring responsible use cases of AI to cut costs and boost creativity. The outcome could impact not just studios and AI companies, but also artists, writers, and anyone whose work or likeness might be used by generative AI without consent. This is gonna be a big one, y'all. And so big, tomorrow we're going Hot Take Tuesday style on this one. Disney versus Midjourney. Will Hollywood kill AI? And I've got some takes that you're probably going to want to listen to, including apparently I'm the only one, because I've read all the I've read all the news reports on this. I've been tracking Midjourney's terms of service since I started Everyday AI. I've done a show on this, but essentially more than a year ago, they changed their terms of service. And guess what? They, are trying to wash their hands, because they said, hey, if any company ever sues us, we aren't responsible. You are responsible, the user. It literally says that plain as day in their terms of service. So we're going to be breaking that and a lot more down on this story tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting one to see how this plays out, because this might be one of the first times that I'm looking at this and being like, all right, this one looks kind of cut and dry against the AI company. When we're talking about text-based large language models and lawsuits they're facing, I think it's much harder to prove, and the gray area is enormous. I don't know. This one looks a little cut and dry to me. Again, I'm not a legal expert. All right. Last but not least, for our pieces of AI news, OpenAI has released the much anticipated O3 Pro model for ChatGPT Pro and team users, with enterprise and EDU customers gaining access next week. So the O3 Pro model is designed to provide more reliable and accurate answers by spending additional time on challenging queries, offering improved performance over both the standard O3 reasoning model and the O1 Pro model. So OpenAI recommends using O3 Pro for situations where answer quality is more important than speed, as responses could take a few minutes. Even simple responses. Don't accidentally say like, what's up to O3 Pro, because it might take like 5 minutes to really ponder what is actually up. But benchmark testing shared by OpenAI shows that O3 Pro outperforms previous versions by a lot, making it a strong option for users who need dependable results for complex or sensitive questions. Some features, including image generation and Canvas, are not supported on the O3 Pro model for now, so users would need to switch models for those tasks. The rapid rollout of new models, including O3 and O4 Mini in April, highlight OpenAI's ongoing push to expand their reasoning models and improve the user experience. OpenAI also announced a huge 80% price drop on the base O3 model, not O3 Pro, but an 80% price drop on the O3 model in the API, which I think is one of the more consequential moves on the developer side over the past 2 years. That piece is actually huge. So we're actually going to be running down in tomorrow's show as we go over Google Gems versus GPTs versus projects from OpenAI and Claude. We're going to be using the O3 Pro model. So make sure you tune into that show to see how the results end up. All right. And since you guys said you liked this, we're going to go over rumors and what's next. All right. So some of these things have been announced. Some of them are rumors. Some of these are starting to roll out. And we'll probably be talking about them more in the coming weeks as they actually start to hit accounts. So Google is rolling out its plan ahead scheduled actions inside its Gemini chatbot, which I'm extremely excited about. Imagine scheduling ongoing tasks to check your email, calendar, Google Docs, etc. That one I'm super stoked about. OpenAI has said their open source model, they're delaying it because they came up with some huge breakthroughs. So originally reports were saying it might be in June. Now they're saying it's just going to be later in summer. Google Search Labs has rolled out or started to roll out an audio overview to where you can listen to an AI generated audio overview on certain search results. Perplexity tasks are starting to roll out to paid users. So yeah, a lot with this scheduling certain tasks or scheduling certain prompts in large language model. That's been a huge wave over this second quarter here of 2025. ChatGPT has upgraded, and we've seen this starting to roll out its base search functionality. And in some cases, we're seeing a slight chain of thought or reasoning in its non-reasoning model, GPT-4o. So that one's interesting. CoPilot Recorder is starting to roll out to beta testers, which, we talked about the CoPilot Vision. Essentially, you can record certain tasks and it will go out and then do them for you on your behalf, which is similar to a feature that Google's Project Mariner has, which, my gosh, we got to do a show specifically on that one because I think it's really cool. Grok is slowly rolling out file, images, and also scheduled tasks support in its sidebar. And Google is reportedly rolling out new models this week. This is crazy, y'all. So we might see a Gemini Pro on I forgot which one's Tuesday and which one's Thursday, but we might be seeing a Gemini Pro and a Gemini Flash Lite. So 2 new updates to Google's most powerful 2.5 Gemini models could be rolling out this week. My gosh, a ton to go over. All right. So like I said, make sure to join us tomorrow for Hot Take Tuesday on the AI Studios versus AI Midjourney and AI Studios in their big legal fight. And then join us on Wednesday for Putting AI to Work Wednesday as we look at Google Gems versus GPTs and versus custom projects in Claude and ChatGPT. But a very quick recap on the AI news that matters for this week. So number 1, OpenAI has expanded its ChatGPT projects and GPTs. Meta's AI app is causing a little bit of controversy as users are seemingly accidentally posting their private queries with the AI chatbot to be publicly discoverable. Meta has invested $14 billion in both Scale AI and its founder as they start their new superintelligence lab. OpenAI and Google Cloud have struck a surprising but also seemingly sensical deal to team up on AI compute. Apple announced their WWDC AI announcements. Nothing big, but live translation and allowing developers to use their on-device edge models to have better apps. Microsoft has updated and launched its Copilot Vision on Windows, offering real-time AI assistance. Amazon has expanded its AI video tools to create AI videos for online sellers. Disney and Universal are suing Midjourney. Tune in tomorrow for that show. And last but not least, OpenAI has launched their O3 Pro model for paid users. My gosh, this was a ton. If this was helpful, please go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for the free daily newsletter, but also please go click that repost button. And maybe this is the one time a week you tune in. If so, thank you. Like I said, we're trying to provide a little bit more structure on our weekly lineup. So we have our Monday AI News That Matters, Hot Take Tuesdays, Putting AI to Work Wednesdays, and then Thursday and Fridays, we're going to bring on amazing guests for you all to ask questions and just to learn from. So if you're listening on the podcast, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe and follow the show. Do me a favor and do that. But also, if you are on the live stream, please click that repost button and share this with your network. So thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you tomorrow and every day for more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.